I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
Stars in Marvel, She-Hulk episode. I just closed it. What are we on?
We're on episode 17. And then we're recapping episode 7 of
7 of 9. Somehow
9.
They're gonna wrap this up in 2 episodes.
Beats me.
I have two statements to make that I feel like contradict each other. I think this was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
But
I
hated
decent.
it.
Yeah. My last note on here is another waste of an episode.
Right. And so that's we've talked pretty lengthy about She-Hulk being what it is. It knows what it is, right?
Yeah.
And the filler episodes perfectly fitting the show. This episode is about 1 episode too late. This should have been last week's episode.
Yeah.
And again, this is assuming and this is putting so much pressure on a character that doesn't matter. This episode should have been last week's episode, and we never should have gotten the Daredevil cameo the week before that.
Yeah.
If we don't get that cameo and this plays last week, I'm in a good mood right now. This is a good episode.
Yeah, and my thing is, now that you say that, they should have skipped the whole weddings thing and had She-Hulk and Titania duke it out at Blonsky's cult play, whatever it is, whatever his compound,
yeah, his cult. Let's call it the cult. I mean, basically,
yeah. Very strong Manson vibes.
I mean, that totally makes sense too. You could have Titania either stalking She-Hulk, or maybe she's like claiming to be on Abomination's like his cult right, like.
But she's there really just to mess with her. You know what I mean? Like,
right, like you can make a connection there that doesn't need to really be thoroughly explained. The only reason we had the wedding is because that's how She-Hulk met. I don't even remember his name. Josh, I want to say
something like that. Something with a J.
They'll go with Josh. That's how she met Josh, right? Who is shown in this episode, spoilers, to officially be a bad guy. Like, after they do the deed, right? And they cut away in a credit scene of sorts. I think it wasn't quite a credit scene, the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And they show he leaves and he texts Hulk King.
Mm-hmm.
And he just has a blood vial emoji, which
who has that? Yeah. I'm pretty sure Apple both Apple and Android. I'm gonna look right now.
I bet you there's a syringe. It sure as hell isn't going to be filled with blood.
It's sure as hell it's not yet. Not going to be covered in blood. Not going to be shooting out any blood.
I think I might be exaggerating here, but I feel like I remember the emoji was literally filled with little red drops.
Yeah,
it was like being squeezed,
like little. Yeah, I'm looking right now.
It was absurd, but I mean that's why they had the wedding episode.
Yeah,
and I get that's why that episode matters.
They could have had her meet him anywhere,
other way. You could have turned. Okay, so let's cut to a couple of weeks ago when we were like, oh, the nice lawyer is going to be the love interest of She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with being wrong.
Yeah,
but to save time and convoluted storyline, you could have made him this Josh character.
Exactly.
And you cut the wedding episode. Boom.
Yeah.
We don't need to like this lawyer guy. He can be a good guy turned bad guy. Like, better writing.
Yeah.
That wedding episode was just so unnecessary and boring.
It was a waste.
It's off-putting the rest of the show. Yeah. And then on top of that, like we've said, the Daredevil cameo is
way too early.
So poorly timed. And because of that, it's ruining. The whole show is suffering from expectations that weren't there. That's why the show was good, because we didn't have expectations.
That Daredevil. Yeah, I know. Like that Daredevil episode felt like 5 episodes ago. Like that's how strung out these episodes have felt.
Like the best thing about this so far is that we get the Hulk King introduced to us by text. So clearly there's a villain behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Is it the leader? I don't know. Could be. Cool. I like the idea that there's still one more guy behind the curtain confirmed, right? Like that's an awesome thing to have. But we just got pushed. It, like I said, it's literally like one episode too many. Like the thing with these Marvel shows is they wrap up, right? Like it's a full story arc. So even though She-Hulk has been this episode by episode lawyer show, which we have enjoyed, it had to wrap up some way, right?
Yeah.
And the wedding episode's biggest issue, of course, I'm just going to complain about that episode this whole time, but the wedding episode's biggest issue is it wasn't even a lawyer episode. It was just pure filler. It was boring. It had no real plot except to introduce this character we don't know or like now. And
that's probably not going to have any other real implications further in the MCU.
So I just complete waste. And that's what, like, it's so funny how I actually really do think the Yurt episode is a good episode, but it's just timing's a bitch.
Yeah. It's I enjoyed the other superheroes in this episode. Like I liked how it gave that like we've been saying, that like kick ass, that, you know, the boys type feeling, where these regular guys are, you know, some of them actually have superpowers, some of them are just guys that dress up in like
Porcupine Man, just in a suit that he hasn't taken off for who knows. Like this was a whole room of Mr. Immortal type of characters, right?
Exactly.
And it was so funny. Like it was actually really entertaining. The bull guy and I don't remember
the
what
Matador
kind of,
or whatever.
Matador. Those two like being like frenemies or whatever we want to call it. Like it was actually really amusing to me.
It was perfect.
The guy who thinks he's a vampire.
That was amazing.
I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, that was so good.
And that's what this episode is great. If you have it literally just a week ago, or even I kind of forget how the plot of that was the Titania She-Hulk court case is the episode where we get the Daredevil cameo. I feel like this could have even been before that. I think the only reason we have this episode this late is because they're reminding you that Brendan, you always correct me on his name, but Abomination's alter ego.
Emil Blonsky.
I think they're just reminding you Blonsky exists, and that's why this episode is later in the season, because I'm still counting on an Abomination fight. I'm going to be just absolutely aghast if there's no Abomination.
I mean, they literally basically had him wink at the camera when they were like, no more turning into Abomination. He was just kind of like,
okay. And I never thought he was going to be the main villain of She-Hulk, because that's the tease of the show. It made you feel like he was going to be. And I was like, that's the misdirection, right? She-Hulk is her own character. It's not Hulk. Here's a Hulk villain to get the draw, right, of the crowd, but there's going to be someone else. And we're correct. He's just kind of there. We have King Hulk or Hulk King on the side. Like, but I mean, to not have an Abomination fight at all is just
would be a waste of having Abomination in the show.
It really would be.
Yeah, it's the pacing of this show is just so weird. Like I feel terrible because the first 4 or 5 episodes we were like, this is such a good show, it's such good, you know, such good writing, such good this, and now the writing's coming back to bite itself in the butt. You know what I mean? Like now it's like, okay, now you're focusing too much on the non-MCU stuff when you've been promising and showing all these further MCU things. So
it's really wild how the only 2 shows that I feel like did this correctly was the first and third shows, which was WandaVision and Loki. Loki unanimously loved. WandaVision pretty well liked all across the board. But they're the only 2 shows that I feel never dropped the ball with pacing,
and they didn't waste any episodes. They Loki went on a couple of side missions, and they had like the first couple of goofy episodes of WandaVision that were mainly just like old TV shows, but they led into what was happening, not giving us all this stuff and then just dropping it for a wedding and a cult episode.
Exactly. That's what the She-Hulk issue is, that it established itself and then it changed.
Yeah.
Like it changed the rules essentially. You know what it was? I'm obviously kind of making this on the spot, but it changed the rules when it introduced that Daredevil cameo, because the moment it did that, it was like, remember, this is the MCU. Like, remember where you are. And then, okay, now we have expectations. When's Daredevil? And then you give us a blandless episode. It's like, okay, like, this is just a bad MCU series thing, and that sucks that it's happening here. And then you get this episode. It's like, God, like, the moment it introduced Daredevil should have been the point of, okay, we're bringing. Oh my God, I can't remember any of my like sayings, but like the moment it introduces that cameo should be the moment the show ramps it up, right? Like that's the moment it picks up for the finale, essentially, and it didn't do that at all, and that's the issue.
Yeah, it's just it's going all over the place, and it's not keeping that pace that, you know, the good shows like you said, like WandaVision and Loki and even not Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Why am I blanking?
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye. That's what it was. I was trying to think of. I knew there was like a couple mixed in between. There's been too many this year, but not that I'm complaining. But Hawkeye even had a better, you know, like a storyline arc. Didn't really waste many episodes and stuff like that. So
that's what I think. Hawkeye. Excellent point. I think Hawkeye was actually very similar to She-Hulk, where Hawkeye didn't have a but up to a point. Hawkeye didn't have a pacing issue. It just never really took off. It just was fine. And like the level of excitement was street level, which is what I enjoyed about it. And then plus Christmas, and I love Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, Hawkeye's not the most exciting character to begin with anyway. Like
exactly.
Do with a bow and arrow.
It's one of those things where, you know, if I heard the argument like, oh, well, it wasn't that exciting of a show. It's like, well, it was what that character is, right? Like if you're going to give him his own thing, that's what you're going to get. And I never think the issue with that show is pacing. And I'd actually look, we haven't seen the final 2 episodes. Like I'm not going to give a score or anything yet.
Yeah.
But like, as of right now, I think when you compare shows quality, I would say Hawkeye is better than She-Hulk just because of consistency. Like I said, you don't find out about Kingpin until the penultimate episode. Like the finale is the only time when you get Kingpin.
Yeah.
And like, so stuff like that's a writing issue. And I don't even think that's Disney getting involved. I don't think it's like, you know, the mouse having his grubby little hands trying to control things. Like you can have a Daredevil cameo and know when to use it. Like, it's not even the fact that he was in the trailer. Again, I just think the pace has been completely thrown off the rails.
Yeah.
And it's a huge bummer for a show I really liked, like you pointed out. First 4 episodes
were amazing.
Great.
And then they threw in that Daredevil, the helmet cameo, and then never you know, now we gotta wait 3 episodes for payback on that. You know what I mean? For that to pay up. Like
Brendan, I saw a tweet the other day. It was like all the media expected to release this week. And so, like, unrelated to Marvel, but the Super Mario Brothers movies that's being made by Illumination.
Yep.
The trailer, they actually just dropped the poster today.
Yeah.
And trailer's supposed to drop Thursday. And like, this person was like, Mario Brothers news, right? And then Black Panther 2 trailer, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Yep.
And then it was like Daredevil on Thursday. And I just wanted to be like, bitch, maybe. Like,
possibly. Yeah. Like
we have 2 episodes left. At this point, I would not be surprised if he doesn't show up till the finale.
For all we know, it could be the freaking end credit scene at the finale. You know,
they could pull an Amazing Spider-Man 2 where the draw of the trailer is the credit scene of the show. I'll never forget that, Sony. You sons of bitches.
That was the Rhino scene,
the
right?
Sinister Six stuff. They put the Sinister Six stuff in the trailer, and it's literally like the second to last
scene. Yeah.
Ugh. Oh man, and then we never even get the Sinister Six.
No.
That's like it's so. Again, if I were to focus on the positives, it's the Yurt crew. They're hilarious. They're very creative characters. I can't get over the guy who thinks he's a vampire. That was good. Goofy, especially when we know vampires exist, right?
Yeah.
Like, we are in a world where we're going to be introduced to vampires. A werewolf this week.
Yeah.
But this guy thinks
he's a vampire. Yeah.
I loved it.
That's why I put Blade in the
okay
thumbnail, because like, we're getting our first taste at vampires in this show. So
what if the end credit scene of this, it won't be folks, it won't be.
It won't be.
But what if the end credit scene of the series was that guy just getting struck dead in the alley, and then you see Blade for the first time?
That would be amazing.
And then it'd be so funny. Like, oh, I guess he was a vampire.
Yeah. That would be perfect.
But all right, so there you go. That's why we got Blade in the thumbnail, guys.
Yep.
No, I really, and even the Wrecking Crew guy, the crowbar guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a huge misdirect.
Yeah.
I thought, like, oh, she's starting to trust all these guys, including the crowbar guy. Like, that's going to be.
And then now he's going to, like, bait her into something.
And then they don't do that. And I'm okay with it. Like, I thought it worked still. Yeah. Like, that wasn't an issue. The issue was then the next scene, it's like, Josh at night, and it's like, got the I'm like, I freaking forgot about that.
Yeah,
like,
we don't really give a shit about this random guy that she met at a wedding. Like,
but I do gotta say, going on like Hulk King speculation, I know I've been throwing the leader out there, right?
Yep. I mean, he is confirmed for Captain America, so it's
confirmed
strong
to
candidate.
Come back, so it makes sense. I gotta say though, with a name like Hulk King, I think if it's not a Hulk related villain, like I'm not saying it has to be the leader.
Yeah.
But you're calling yourself the Hulk King. You better be a Hulk villain.
You better be someone affiliated with the Hulk or She-Hulk in some sort of way.
Like, you could even, like, I think it will be super anticlimactic, but I think it would be kind of funny if it's Titania. Like, like that's her street name or something.
Hulk
like,
King,
like super stupid. But like, I think that works to an extent for this show.
Yeah.
But
it would be a huge bummer if that's the case. But
yeah, I agree. But I think I think my point just is that it has to be Hulk related. Like, if Hulk King is like, I don't even know, like, he's DC, but like Boomerang Man, like the equivalent of that, like some
weird
like,
tier,
like one of the guys at the Yerk crew, like if one of like some guy that we don't know that has no relation to Hulk, She-Hulk, nothing, like that just doesn't work for me in this case, because you're calling yourself the Hulk King.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it is going to be the leader, at least, or maybe someone affiliate. I don't know, but like Feige definitely had a reason for announcing that the leader is going to be in New World Order during the middle of the She-Hulk season. So while there's someone going after her blood, so that's what Mr. Leader. That's what the leader was like, trying to do. That's what he was doing in the Edward Norton Hulk, was getting Bruce's blood and stuff. So,
Brendan, if this is right, this is my greatest prediction since this is pre-podcast, but Nick, my brother Nick, and friend Brandon Hyde knows I predicted after the day I saw Far From Home. I came home from that and I was like, Spider-Verse next movie, calling it now.
There we go.
Because from the comics, like I knew the comics. I was like, my original theory was that they were going to use Spider-Verse as like a misdirect to why Peter Parker was exposed. Like, so like Peter Parker would be in court while Spider-Man was swinging by or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wrong on the plot, but I was totally like, yep, Spider-Verse is coming. I got it. This if the leader is the actual villain in this show, this might be like the proudest prediction I've ever made. Zero context from any other YouTube channel, IGN, nothing.
It was just, it was literally, I think we had came up about that because they brought back Tim Roth. So we were like, oh, well, why not bring back the other guy for Tim Blake Nelson for the leader?
It would be so funny. It would just be great. I also think, look, Disney has a huge track record. I think one of the funniest things I ever saw was there's a YouTube channel I like, Mr. Sunday Movies, where they do Marvel stuff too. And when the Moon Knight series was coming out, they were like the first couple episodes, they're like, well, the show has to end in a big laser battle because all the Marvel shows do. And then of course Moon Knight, which you're like, how is it going to end in a big laser battle?
Yeah.
2 giant kaijus are fighting and there's purple lasers flying everywhere. I was like, yep, they called it.
Laser fight.
And look, I don't know how they could pull a laser fight off in She-Hulk, but we got to be gearing up towards that finale fight. It's got to happen. I don't know. I think Abomination, I think Titania, I think like even if whoever Hulk King is being a scientist, regardless of who it is, I don't think they're going to be the big fight.
No. They'll be more like an end credit scene, like a fine, I'll do it myself type thing.
I'm actually I wouldn't be surprised if we don't meet Hulk King until a credit scene. Like
or remember in the end credit scene for Avengers when like Thanos turns around in his chair. I feel like it'll be like that, but it'll be like, "Sir, we have your blood," or something like that, and he turns around and says some evil line.
That would be pretty funny. I think that. Who do you think, though? My question for you, Daredevil, of course. We have to see him team up with She-Hulk to fight someone, right? Like, I mean, we don't have to see anything. That's Disney has made that clear. But from the context of the trailer, I really feel like he was getting ready to go fight someone. I feel like that's why you have him in costume. The Wrecking Crew seems to be disbanded.
Yeah.
Does he help her in the finale?
Could be. Maybe. That's the only thing that confuses me, though, is they're in Los Angeles. Daredevil is from Hell's Kitchen in New York. Right. So, but maybe he's going out to get his costume, uniform, whatever you want to call it. And notices there's like a fight going on or something, or he catches wind of, some sort of illegal stuff and teams up with She-Hulk. So I don't know what for, whether it's going to be Abomination or whether it's going to be this Josh guy and his goons or whatever. But
that's what I still think it's going to be, a street level team up.
Yeah,
I think it just I love.
It's not going to be like a world-ending
show.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think he's in the final fight. I think that's strictly She-Hulk's business. Maybe I could even see an Abomination like turn on the villain thing, where maybe he's a good guy and that leads to Abomination being in the Thunderbolts, which I still think that theory makes sense, that they just can't announce that before the end of the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm other than that, I don't really know what else to speculate, because we've been so wrong these past
we don't have much to go off of what's to come, because all these episodes have just been filler. So
it would not surprise me at this point. It would be a super huge bummer. It would not surprise me if episode 8 is another filler episode.
It would. I kind of have a feeling that it is, or like at least like the first half will be like stuff we don't really care about, and then the last. I don't know. Yeah,
that's the thing is with these episodes being a half hour, which for the context of the lawyer show works.
Yeah,
this would I think, and Disney's been pretty consistent with these. The series have been pretty consistent with these, is that the final 2 episodes are like a solo movie, right?
Yeah.
Like you basically have to watch them together. And
to get that like full experience. Yeah.
For that reason, I feel like this is going to be episode 8 is the first like 20 minutes of filler of a movie kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
It's
gonna suck.
I have a feeling we're gonna get let down in this one. Maybe the final episode will redeem itself, but it's not gonna heal those wounds it gave us 3 episodes ago.
I think the final episode's gonna be good. I really do think it'll end strong.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be as strong as Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel had such a huge spike. Yeah. Like it was so good at the end, and it made up for things I didn't like in the middle. But I think She-Hulk was good. It dropped so low, and it's just gonna kind of be like, all right, we're finishing on a strongish note like that, and I'm all right with this.
Yeah.
Unless it just Daredevil's just cut. It's
just doesn't even show
Morbius, up. Not even in the movie. Like,
speaking of Morbius, I just watched that on Sunday.
Oh, did you? That's what we're gonna watch it this weekend.
Did you have you seen it?
I have not. I refuse to support it in theaters because
I didn't know what to watch on Sunday, and I was like, I'll flip around Netflix, and I was like, you know what, Morbius, might as well throw it on. Yeah, I was like,
that's what.
It was very Morbius.
Yep. When it was released on Netflix, Val and I were just kind of like, "This is it. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen." And I don't think there's a better way to do it than in Halloween season, after maybe a couple of drinks, and just be all right, let's get her done.
Yep,
let's get it. I think this Saturday we're gonna watch like Hocus Pocus 2 or something and just like enjoy it and then be like, all right, it's Mormon time. Oh boy. But yeah, She-Hulk's being She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I think
that's all I got on that.
Cool. I'm done.
You want to do a couple quick minutes on the Black Panther trailer?
Yes. Yeah, let's do a strong finish for Black Panther.
Yeah.
That trailer looks
awesome.
I didn't think it could be as good or better than the first trailer.
Oh my god, yeah.
This was great. And
what's Ryan Coogler, I think is his name, the director.
Yes, the director.
Amazing. Whoever, if he's cutting these trailers or whoever he has cut these trailers, amazing. Like,
pay that man, whoever is making the trailer. Some intern that's like, thanks guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, no, the trailer's sweet. I think a couple of things, like the dialogue, I'm getting ahead of myself. The first thing I want to say is just the tone of the movie.
Yeah,
it feels like a sequel to Black Panther. Like it really like it's funny how funny Marvel has been post Endgame. We've been back phase. I keep saying it, and I stand my ground with this. We're phase 2 Marvel again right now. Like, we're just being entertaining. We're having our laughs. Like, no one thinks anything serious is happening in the MCU because they took care of Thanos. It makes sense what's going on in these movies and TV shows.
Yeah, they're all sort of self-contained right now because not everything's, everybody's doing their own thing.
And even Thor: Love and Thunder, which was a cosmic scale but a very light movie. Like it was very Thor, but like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, just the tone of Black Panther, the serious, the grit, it's just all there in this trailer. One trailer. I mean, holy shit, Namor looks like he's gonna beat the shit out of me just for looking at him.
He looks like so I recently found out that about the leg wings, and I was like, that seems like the dumbest thing in the world, but they make it look so cool.
I know.
Like, he was literally just walking on air, and I was like, that is awesome. Like,
Brendan, I remember the concept art releasing for Namor for Wakanda Forever. And I remember seeing versions with and without the wings. And again, from the comics, he very much has these little wings on his ankle.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no flipping way they have the wings
that's
on.
Gonna look cool.
God damn it, do they do it? And they works,
look good,
man.
And I really like, in the comics they're Atlantean, and aren't they Atlantean?
Yeah, this is Namor is king of Atlantis.
Okay, I think they're changing it for the movie. I don't think they're specifically going to be from Atlantis. Or maybe they are, but they're not, because I know they're basing it off of Aztec gods. Like, he's
I do remember reading that like the design was very Aztec-y. Maybe they are staying with Atlantis. I'm sure they're not changing that. I retracted that from my statement. But they might be. I don't know.
But I know that
zero research.
They're basing like their culture off of Mayan, because like they're like, they refer to him as Quetzalcoatl or whatever. I forget. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they're like the dragon wing or something, or the winged dragon or something like that, and that's like apparently a Mayan god. So I think that's pretty cool because the Black Panther, they all, their god is Bastet. I don't, one of them.
I don't know.
It's the Panther
but
god.
I like what I like about this is whether it doesn't have to be Atlantis. Like,
no,
you could tell me but I could also see them tying this in. Like, you could tell me they were a Mayan culture that were lost to the sea. And then maybe they became Atlantis, or goddamn, sorry. Maybe they became Atlantis, or maybe it's just supposed to be similar to Atlantis and they don't use the word Atlantis or Atlanta for whatever reason.
That
all works for me. Like, I love the idea that it's a Mayan based culture, like origin, right? Like, just a more ancient roots to the world that we know, that like we have something to compare that to that makes it real, is the point I'm trying to get to. Like, it's something that you can be like, that is a thing that I know exists, and I can correlate this in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and one thing I like that they're doing in the trailer, they're not showing us how T'Challa died. Like they're not so that's the big thing, is how are they going to play this out? Like are they going to play it out where he died in battle somewhere? Are they going to play it out where maybe the character T'Challa also had like some sort of like either cancer or some maybe rare disease or something?
I hope I forget if we've talked about this, but I hope they make it cancer, because I think
it would. I think we have talked about this. Yeah,
real and very relatable for the audience, and I think that would be a very big step, big moment, and a very big-hearted moment for Marvel and Disney.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. It would this movie deals with minorities and that sort of stuff, and it would also tie in with people that have cancer and people that have so
it would just be another very real thing that people can relate to and just enjoy in the movie, like having that moment to grieve in their own way and enjoy a Marvel movie. Like it's just something that Black Panther does, man.
Yeah. All right.
I quick rewatched something from the trailer and I got goosebumps. Like it's just so good. I think so. There's two more things I want to talk about with the trailer, and that's I think I'm going to save something. I think okay. Sorry, I'm just excited. I'm going to save Ironheart for last and focus now on Black Panther herself.
Yeah.
We get a full look at new Black Panther.
Yeah.
Definitely a woman.
Yes.
It looks good. It looks, the suit is, I think
sleek.
It's nice. It's sleek. I think it's got gold in it a little bit, if I remember.
Yeah, correctly. a little bit of the Killmonger gold.
I like the mix, and I think it brings it's a unique look at the suit that is obviously familiar. It's gotta be it's Shuri, right? Like Shuri, it is Shuri.
Yeah, it's got 1000%. Either Shuri, definitely Shuri, possibly
Okoye.
No, his like love interest.
Oh, his ex. Yeah. I don't remember her name.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Could be Okoye
very
though.
Much. I don't think it's Okoye. I love Okoye's character, and dude, her in the car chase in the trailer too.
She
like throws the spear in the ground,
and
freaking U-turns it because turning a steering wheel's too hard.
Gotta make it
awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love Okoye. I feel like it's Okoye wouldn't, like, from a character point of view, wouldn't be Black Panther. Like she wouldn't, because
she wouldn't want that mantle. Like she wouldn't. Yeah.
And
it's definitely Shuri. I mean, I was just throwing being devil's advocate.
But I was actually going to point out a devil's advocate too. They don't show who it is. I think it would be interesting if throughout the movie, and I feel like I had to have heard this theory before, and I'm not that original. But I like the idea of maybe more than one person tries the mantle on during the movie. But it doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like Shuri refuses to use it at first. So maybe Okoye uses it for a scene and she's like, no, I can't do it. And then the love interest uses it and she maybe wants to, but can't for maybe she dies using it or something. Right. And then I would think it'd be really cool if we see multiple Black Panthers until the end fight or whatever. And then boom,
Shuri shows up.
Shuri steps up to battle. She steps into the suit. Let's fucking go.
That would be sick.
And speaking of let's go, my favorite part of this trailer, hands down, is Ironheart, is Riri Williams.
Yeah.
There's two things that so we see her twice. We see her building the suit or playing with mechanical parts of some sort.
Yeah.
And then we also see a shot of the Ironheart Iron Man suit shooting up into the air, and then it glances to the Iron Man point of view of Riri, and she just goes, "Let's go!"
Oh yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was such a cool shot.
First, I love how excited she looks. I love her saying "Let's go." Very our generation and younger thing to do. I love it. But the thing I love most is when you can't even. I tried a couple times. I can't even pause on the trailer frames to get a clear shot of the suit. But like when the shoots into the air, like at that angle, that's like it's straight but slightly tilted.
Yep.
It's so Iron Man 1. Like that shot
very
is
clunky,
so Iron Man 1. And I get chills at the idea that we're not rebooting, we're reestablishing a new Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about this.
We get to see that whole, trial and error of, that's obviously probably going to be her Mark 1 suit. It looked a little chunky, looked a little clunky. So
a little thick.
But then she'll get that Wakanda tech and, thin it out a little bit, get that vibranium.
That's what I kind of figure she's going to go through, like literally like in Iron Man 1, 3 different marks. I think we're going to get the Mark 1, which is literally like junk put together.
Yeah.
I know. I think we're going to get Mark 2, which is actually what I think we see in the trailer for a second. I think the main thing she uses is going to be her Mark 2. And then my estimate is it ends Mark 3, which is what is Wakanda and like vibranium that she takes into the new show of hers. Let's say.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I don't think she uses Mark 3 in this movie.
Probably not. Yeah. Or maybe at the very, very end, but who knows?
It depends on her story arc too, because
I also feel like go ahead. Sorry. No,
the last thing I was gonna say was like, again, not looking too much into like details about the movie. As excited as I am to see Riri Williams, we don't know the extent of what she's gonna be in this movie. It's not her movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a feeling she might be like a student they bring over, like, because I remember they were doing like the Wakandans were doing outreach programs for like underserved students and stuff like that. So maybe she's one of the students in their program. Like I know she's at MIT or something, right? Or so I guess that's what
very base knowledge of her comic. But what I know is she is, I believe, a 16-year-old genius who is in college because she's so smart. She skips high school basically. And I'd assume she's an MIT.
Yeah.
I also think she's from California, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I think she drops out of college. Don't believe a word I'm saying or take it all with a grain of salt.
I mean, the California thing would make sense because that's where they set up their outreach program.
And that was my only point I was going to say was I know she in the books is from America. Okay. Now, I'm all America, but I'm also okay with making her from Wakanda. I don't care.
That would be perfectly fine.
So whatever they do, it works. But that's the only thing is I know in the book she is American. I don't think Wakanda has any like ties to her really. So I'm excited to see what they make with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good fit for the character to Shuri and Riri to kind of like link up and because they're both I don't really know much about
smart young woman.
They're very tech savvy, very Tony Stark-esque.
I'm very curious to see how old she is in the movie because like if they do make her like 16 to 18 years old, that would put her right at the Peter Parker age. That would put her right at a little above Miss Marvel age. Like I mean, it's clear Marvel's going younger, which we've talked about. There's a reason they're doing that. Our generation is letting go. They're getting new generations. It makes sense, people. I just am interested in how will they make her and if Shuri kind of becomes like a mentor to her.
Yeah, could be.
I could see it. Be interesting. I also have no idea how old Shuri is in the movies. Like,
I don't know either.
She could be 29. She could be 19.
15. Yeah. Like who really knows?
I have no idea. I just knew she was younger than
and with the time passed between Black Panther 1 and now Wakanda Forever, it's been what, like 6 years? Like 2016 when that came out?
And the MCU takes place 5 years in the future. Like,
yeah.
I have no idea. I'm actually looking up.
So she's like 45 now? No.
So Shuri's actress, oh my god, I'm gonna all right. This is Latita Wright. Miss Wright. I can say her last name correctly at least. She is 28 years old. So, going by the law of Hollywood, she probably plays someone 4 years younger than her. So,
Yeah.
So she's probably
like mid-20s, like
at
early
most
20s.
25. Yeah, that's what I would assume too. So,
okay.
I mean, that's old enough to be a young mentor to a young Riri. I could see that.
Yeah.
Those names though, too similar. Riri and Shuri.
Shuri.
You said that in the same sentence. I was like, I
know. I got a little tongue tied.
Like that.
Shuri.
But I'm very excited for both of those characters. I'm not exaggerating. I know I'm a nerd, but like the Ironheart suit shooting up.
When I saw that,
Man. Like
I almost didn't want to pause on it because I was like, no, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the suit. But I was like, I want to see the suit.
I actually, so I'm gonna say a couple. There are spoilers of the suit, and I saw them, and I won't say anything about them.
Was it from the Funko?
So there's the Funko, which technically wasn't a spoiler because they released it. Like
they knew
Disney released it.
Yeah.
That was the Mark 1. I saw that. And then just yesterday, before the trailer, a action figure YouTuber that I like, shout out Shartimus Prime, hilarious name. He got an early access to the Ironheart action figure, and they wanted him to reveal
the Legends one.
Yeah, and that's so. Are you googling it? So
no, my phone's just.
Oh, okay. That's what I wasn't. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who doesn't want to know. Like, I didn't know if you want to know, but basically, I'm just trying to say it's out there. I am not disappointed. Is the best thing I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very excited to see it on screen. And that trailer it was great. I'm very nerding out. All right, let's switch it up for Andor.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to this episode. And we'll catch you on the next one.